Okay, welcome back, guys. I am now in the kitchen. I took my robe off because I'm not going to need that robe in this kitchen. I will be warm now. So, okay, I got my cans of beans. I'm doing different ones. This is a kidney and pinto. That's a hot chili, a regular pinto, and black beans. So I'm going to do all four of those this time. I got some diced tomatoes, and I'm going to kind of mash these up a little bit. And I got my tomato paste. So I'm going to wash the top of all those cans off right there real quick. Got my water running. And I think the pull tops are the best thing they ever did, and I think they should just go ahead and make that for all cans, just to make life easier for us. Okay, so I'm going to put my heat on about 2 over here while I get my meat prepared. And I'm going to show you, if you watched my video where I was still trying to get my black and gold handbag, my black and gold clutch together. I mentioned about coming to make chili next. So, okay, so there's all that. So I was talking about using, let me grab it real quick out of the fridge. Okay, I was talking about using beef stew meat. So I'm just going to chop this out. I don't leave it that big. I chop it up smaller. And then here is where I had a leftover half of a bell pepper and a little bit of onion. So I'm going to be chopping that up as well. So, but what I'm going to be doing in this, sorry, I'm going to be moving this camera around because I didn't want to put it up on top of the cabinets this time. I'm trying to get a better view for you guys, but it's not that easy in my type of kitchen. Okay, so there's the tomatoes, and like I say, I'm going to take a potato masher and mash some of that up to make it a sauce and to like make those tomatoes a little bit smaller. I don't want such a big bite sized. Okay, so there's how that looks. And you can mash it more, just depends on how you like it. I don't know if the twins are as crazy about coming across tomatoes as I am, because I don't mind it. Not at all. In my chili, I feel like this is part of it. If you're gonna make a hearty chili anyway, I feel like that's part of it. So on this tomato paste, I feel like I'm making a whole lot of noise here. On this tomato paste, I'm gonna use half of the can, not a whole can. Just kind of smash that down. Let me turn this up at first so I can get it to start to blend and mix a little bit. Now I like to add a little beef broth to my chili. I have added beer before, but I don't really have any beer here to do that. I usually will, we're not beer drinkers, so I usually will get a can or a bottle if I'm gonna do that, make a beer base to mine, but I don't have any. Didn't even think about putting beer in this one. Some people don't like the flavor of the beer in it. Some people don't care. When it comes to flavor, I just do what I gotta do. I mean, I'm not that particular about it as long as it tastes good. Okay, so this is the Knorr beef bouillon. Lord, I can't even get it out. Anyway, and don't even bother about trying to. You know what? I think I'll put this in the meat to kind of cut back on having to use any salt or anything in my meat. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it down to 2 because it's heating up, and that will get my tomato paste where it's blending in with the tomatoes. Okay. Now let me come over here. Get my knife out and cut my meat up. I'm just sorry about all the moving around, guys. This was a little spontaneous for me today. The cooking part of it was spontaneous. I just realized the other day, I was like, I have not cooked anything and filmed cooking content in a while. So I think I need to get back to putting some cooking on there, because it seemed like that was being watched more than my creations on my swag bags. But I like to mix it up. So I may just start cooking a little bit more often. So yeah, I can see that. Okay, so going from a chunk to a bite. So bite size or dice your meat up. And it doesn't have to be super small. Originally, I had a pack of this beef stew meat and I wanted chili one day, and I didn't have ground beef at all, and so I thawed out this beef stew meat, and then I cut it up to try and stretch the meat so that, I mean, you know, you can have a little bit of meat in every bite, or almost every bite. So, but it turned out to be so good, I thought, oh, I gotta put that on repeat. I didn't really think to write my recipe down that day, because I was just doing something, you know. But I think those turn out to be the best recipes, is when you kind of have to improvise. You can come up with some really good creations when you have to improvise and just use what you have in the house. rather than putting my meat and my peppers and onions in first and saute them like I normally would do, like if I was making a soup or a stew or a casserole, I put my onions and pepper in with the meat, and it just gives it a whole different flavor. So I like that. And use the whole pack. So rather than bore y'all with y'all watching me cut this meat up, I'm gonna get it cut up and I'll be back. Okay, got my meat cut up. I'm going to add a little bit of the Kinder's firewood or wood-fired garlic seasoning to that. Not a whole lot, because it has a distinctive flavor to it. I don't want it to, I want it to still have a chili flavor. And I turned my pan down to 8. And plus I'm going to be putting that beef cube in there. Okay, a little pepper, black pepper, and get my chili powder out. I don't know, you guys may make your chili spicy, hot and spicy. I don't really. Although one of my can of beans is a hot version. So there'll be a little bit of bite in there. Okay, so I'm going to use some of my bacon fat that I save up. A little bit. I don't want this meat to cook really fast because I want it tender. So alright, let's mix the seasoning in on the cutting board. Alright, and into the pan. Well, okay. Ooh, that already smells good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and drop this beef cube in here. I'm going to break it up into smaller pieces like that. And drop it in there. It'll melt down with the heat, but that is one version of a beef cube that will not melt down in water. So I don't know what to tell you on that. It's totally different, but it works with the heat, so don't worry about it. It melts right down in the pot. But ooh, okay, can y'all see that? Get you over here now. That smells so good with that Kinder's on there and that chili powder. And you just want that to kind of brown up slow. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my green pepper up. I keep my seeds and I throw them out in my little garden boxes out there. Sometimes I dry them out over there in the window. some more seeds out of there. Just cut them up kind of small, guys, into dice size pieces. Okay. Bell peppers go in. Okay, so I cut that wedge of an onion up into 4 different pieces, and then I'm just going to dice those up. If you don't like the taste of onions too much, you may want to cut smaller pieces or use less of it. Okay, so while that is softening up, I'm going to add my beans to the pot over there. Okay, I'm going to use a colander to strain my beans. because what I want to happen, and it's just got a little bit of, what I want to happen is to get some of that starch off of there. Okay, so this is the hot chili beans, so I'm not going to strain those because I need that juice because it has flavor. Okay, on the regular pinto beans, I'm going to strain those in the colander. And then again, on the flavored chili beans, I'm going to use these without straining them because I want the flavor. So are y'all getting what I'm doing? If they're plain and they don't have any flavor, I'm washing those off to get the extra starch and thickness off. And for the beans that have flavor, I'm using all of it. I'm pouring it all in. Okay, so there are the pintos washed. Stir my meat some more. So at this point, I'm going to leave this, let me turn it down to 5. I'm going to leave this to let the onions and peppers cook down until they soften. And then I'll add the meat and onions and peppers into my beans. Okay. Let's see if I can bring it back and get kind of the whole shot there. Okay. I got seeds over here. Those, I usually don't buy the ones with kidney beans in it, but why not? My crew is not that particular, but I like the mix of beans in there. Let me bring you closer. Lord, I gotta do something about my whole setup here, but I like the mixture. Sometimes I don't mix my beans, but today I'm going to mix my beans. And you see those tomatoes in there? I think that's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. You can't beat beans and tomatoes. You just really can't. Beans, tomatoes, and onions. You just can't beat that. I think I'm going to put a top on that meat. So it can simmer a little bit. I'm going to add a little more chili powder. And I that's about gone. So I'm really trying to use that last little bit up. So that's really not a lot, guys, and that's gone. It's really not a lot. And here comes a little bit of an oddball situation. Y'all probably gonna say why, and I really can't tell you why, but a dash of ground cinnamon, or maybe 2. But it's something about it that just makes it earthy. I don't know. And I don't do it when I use ground beef. And to me, I mean, I really don't taste that it's cinnamon. I just taste that there is something earthy there. I can't explain it. I really can't explain it. But it just does something when you're doing a stew or something soupy. Let's see. Yeah. It just, I don't know. I can't even tell you. I can't even explain it. Just try it. You might like it, you might not. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is add, because I don't want to have to try and save this other half of this tomato paste. What I'm going to do is add it to the meat to make it richer, give it a richer flavor. Okay, just cleaning my dishes up because I cannot take just leaving the sink piling up. It's just in my way. So, okay, let's mash this in here. Because you want to get as much flavor into that meat as you can at the onset, but I'm going to keep that on low and let those flavors just come together and let it just kind of simmer and saute for, let's see, it's 12:30, for the next 3-4 hours. Probably would have been better if I would have put it over into a crock pot, but it's okay. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way, right here on top of the stove, and let it go. Just going to keep it on 2 or 3 over there. See how that adds a rich little look and flavor. Sorry, y'all wasn't even over here with me. But see how that adds, and I just mashed that tomato paste up. I thought I had fixed that where you could see both pots at the same time, but I didn't. Sorry about that, guys. But this is after me adding the tomato paste in there. And see how it just gave it some thickness, and it's going to give it some more flavor. So And once I bring all this together, I will taste it later. I'll taste it in just maybe about one or so, or whatever time I get this in this pot. I'm about to go ahead and put it in there so it can start coming together, because they'll be coming in around 4 and they'll be ready to start eating. So, okay, let's get you back where you can see that pot. So I'll make sure all the flavors come together. Like if I need to add any more seasoning or salt or whatever, another beef cube, whatever it is that I might need to add, I'll have time to get that in there and get it all cooked together. And for me, this is too thick for me, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Since I already have that beef cube in there, and I have more tomato paste in there, and I have all the other stuff in there, I'm going to add a little bit of water to thicken. I'm going to thin that out just a little bit. I like my beans and my chili like a little bit more soupy. I'm just using this pan because I'm really kind of trying to get some of that still in there, loosen out. Okay. And whether or not I add another, this depends on the cook down process. That's pretty good to me. That's how I like it right there. It's a little bit soupy. And like I say, if it thickens more, I'll add more. But I'm going to use a spoon now because I want you guys to see. I want you to see how it looks with this meat in it. Let's see. Where's the meat? Where's the beef? Okay, see that? That makes for some good chili. I mean, it really does. When you come across those chunks of real beef, almost steak-like, I think it would really be good if you had like a grilled steak that you cut up like that and put it in here. Woo. As your meat base. Oh my, that would be so good. Okay, so enough stirring. I get carried away with the stirring. Really good. Okay, so top goes on. I'm gonna put it between. I'm gonna put it on 2.5. Okay, I'm putting it on 2.5 just to keep it from scorching or anything, because that's, it may not look like it, but there's really plenty of heat. Because like I said, this is a semi-homemade because I didn't cook the beans, so they're already done. So I don't really want, I'm going to go ahead and put it on 3. I'm going to see what 3 does. If that looks like it's going to scorch it, it shouldn't. But all stoves are different, so just whatever is low for your stove, that it will just, I don't want it boiling and none of that. I want it to do that. Just kind of steam up. So, because what I'm going to do is go and get in front of the TV, and here in a little bit, I may make a small pot of cornbread. I don't really know if I am or not yet. but I might. So, this is basically it, guys. It's not going to change up from there, other than the meat getting soft. But that's basically it. Quick and easy. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, about what, 20, 25 minutes with cutting up your vegetables. And you're done in the kitchen. So, here you go. Y'all have a good day. Have a good rest of your week. I'm going to try and come back later in the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere in there, and do something else for you. They start leaning a little bit more on the cooking side to pick up some views and to keep y'all interested. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'm out of here. Y'all, have a good one.